Hi, in this video we're going to talk about a guide basically to how to create a guide from scratch. So there's two ways to get started. The first way is to search for a guide that is very similar to what you want to do. So you can search by language, by country, by city, and there's other videos that describe how to do that. And so you select one, and let's say this one here, you select it, and then from here you can copy that guide. And what that does is it creates an exact copy of this. Now this assumes that you have copy access, and you can verify that from the search screen. You have to have at least copy or modify access, and then you make a copy of it, and then you just modify the guide or tweak it the way you want it. And now another way is if you can't find anything, and that may be the case in the beginning. This Andiamo app is fairly new. There are not that many guides available at the moment, so you can do new guide. So with new guide, let's do that now. So new guide, you get the guide info. Now very important to set some of these, like the base location, because when you have no places, this at least tells it where the map should start from. It's also important, even once you have the places, it's the default or initial default current location, and usually you make that either the hotel you're staying at, or if you're a vacation rental owner, you can set it to your vacation home, and so that it defaults to that. Then, of course, description. Some of the things that are going to be important later are which language you're going to use, which countries and which cities. Access can wait for later. You can leave it this way for now, and then once the guide is ready, then you can let others see it. It's usually not a good idea to let other people see a guide that you're still working on until you feel comfortable that it has enough information to make it worthwhile. All right, so those are, let me go to actually have a list here. So we either copy or create a new guide. Then we edit the guide info. Then it's important that you make a list of places. You have to do some pre-planning. It'll save you work if you do it this way. Make a list of all the places. You can search for them on the internet. Make a list of the categories. Now that it's a it's an iterative process, so you think you'll have them all, and then you'll come up with more later. But it's good to have it's better to have some categories in the. It'll save you time. Same thing with groups. Then identify the must-see places, so that now the reason we do that with the categories, groups, and must-see is then when you edit the places, you can enter that information once and not have to go back to the same place over and over to make changes, and that takes time. Then, now that you have the list, now you have to add the groups, the places to the guide. And I'm sorry, I skipped a step. Basically, also itineraries. It's usually good to have an itinerary or two in a guide. You could have your own, or you could copy somebody else's. So getting back to what I was saying, now we have to search for the places and add them, and we have a video on how to do that. And then we add the groups, the categories, and the must-see information to the places. Then we can create chapters and sections. And again, we have videos for all this. Then we edit the home screen, and then we set the access level so other people can see the guide. Now, let me just show you one place for itineraries is if you go to bing.com/travel guide and you search for Florence, they already have 1 day itinerary, 2 day, 3 day, 6, and this is also a good place from where to gather your list of places. Obviously, if they're important enough to put on an itinerary, they must be important places. So if you're going somewhere you've never been, you don't know much about, then rely on some of these itineraries that are pre-existing. You can search for, like, the 50 best places to see in such and such a city. And once you have all that information, then you can start creating the guide. And again, you ask you to, you can refer to the individual videos. This was on purpose. The videos are there's a lot of them. So they're small, and so you can find the specific information as opposed to having one or two huge videos and not knowing where to get the information. So I hope that helps. Thanks.